All right, everybody, welcome back. Ready to dive in. Today's deep dive is all about something I think we can all relate to, persistence.
Absolutely.
And we've got some really interesting source material here that frames it, not just as pushing forward, but like that deep down strength to keep going when things get really, really tough.
Yeah, when it's tempting to just throw in the towel.
Exactly. And the material makes the point of saying that this whole persistence thing, it's not just for like the big names you read about, the inventors and the athletes and all that.
Right.
It's an ingredient for success, period.
Right.
Whatever you're aiming for. So I'm really interested to hear your take on all this.
Well, what struck me right away was the link the source makes between persistence and resilience.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Almost like two sides of the same coin, wouldn't you say?
I think so, yeah.
Because resilience, that's about, being able to adapt, to grow when you hit a roadblock. It's turning those obstacles into, well, stepping stones.
That's such a good way to put it. It's not just about like brute force pushing through, it's more like using those setbacks to actually help you move forward.
Precisely. And the source brings this to life really vividly with the story of Thomas Edison and his quest to create the light bulb.
Oh, yeah. Edison, classic example.
I mean, the guy went through thousands of failed attempts. Thousands.
Wow, thousands. Okay, now that's just wild. I think I'd probably give up after like 10.
Right. Most of us would. But that's exactly what makes Edison's story so powerful. He had persistence, obviously, but that incredible resilience, too.
Yeah.
Each failure, it wasn't a defeat for him. It was a learning experience, a chance to adjust, to refine his approach.
Okay, that's a good way to look at it.
And ultimately, that's what led him to success.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, though, right? What was it about Edison? Like, what allowed him to just keep going like that? Was it just, like pure grit? Or was there something more to it?
No, that's a great question. And the source does touch on some of the psychological factors that might have been at play.
Yeah. Okay.
For example, some researchers, they believe that people who are, really persistent, they often have what's called a growth mindset.
Growth mindset. I've heard of that.
They see challenges as opportunities to learn, to develop, not as some kind of personal attack or a threat,
Interesting.
And they also tend to be more optimistic. They believe they can overcome those obstacles if they just keep at it.
Yeah, you can see how those traits would be pretty essential if you're going to be that persistent. And it's cool to think about how those same traits could apply to anyone, really.
Right.
Not just, a famous inventor.
Exactly.
It reminds me of that story about Michael Jordan.
Oh, yeah.
Getting cut from his high school basketball team.
Oh, right.
You think of Michael Jordan, you think like instant success, but
anything but, right. The source actually brings that story up too, as a prime example of how something that seems like a failure can actually be a turning point, a catalyst almost. It's not about the setback itself. It's about how you respond to it, how you let it shape you, make you stronger. And that's, I think, where the real power of persistence comes in.
I like that.
So it makes me wonder, what about you? What's a time you face a setback, something that, felt like a real obstacle?
Ooh, that's a good one.
But you didn't let it stop you.
Yeah.
What kept you going? What did you learn from that experience?
That is such a powerful question. And I think it really, it gets to the heart of what we're talking about here.
It does.
Persistence. It might seem kind of old-fashioned, especially these days, like instant gratification, everything's going to happen right now.
Right.
But the source really drives home the point that it's a timeless quality.
Yeah.
And it can lead to, real success, whatever that means for you.
Absolutely. And, while these famous examples, they're incredibly inspiring,
What
I think there's a whole other level of learning we can get from the everyday persistence, the kind we see all around us. If we just, if we just open our eyes to it.
Oh, that's a good point.
The unsung heroes, right? The ones who they face these challenges day in and day out with quiet determination. The single parent working 2-3 jobs just to make ends meet. The community organizer fighting for social justice.
Yeah.
The entrepreneur pouring their heart and soul into making their dream a reality.
Right. Those stories, they don't always make the headlines, but
No, but they're happening all around us.
Yeah.
And they're filled with these profound lessons for all of us, I think.
that's such a great point, and I think a perfect way to wrap up this deep dive.
I agree.
we've talked about the importance of persistence, how it's intertwined with resilience, and how these qualities, they're not just for reaching, some huge ambition. They're vital for navigating the everyday stuff, the ups and downs that we all face.
Absolutely.
Like, and, as you're going about your day, I'd encourage you to pay attention to those everyday acts of persistence in your own life,
Yeah.
but also in the lives of the people around you.
Yes.
What can you learn from their stories? What can they teach you about resilience, about that unwavering belief in yourself and your dreams?
Great advice.
All right, everyone, that's it for this deep dive. Until next time,
See you then.
thanks for listening.
Bye.